Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of Ranking the Albums. And in the co-captain's chair, he's here once again, coming
I'm
over
here.
from the warehouse and the Contrarians to the sea, Mr. Grant Arthur.
Pete, nice to see you. Thanks for having me on once again.
Absolutely, absolutely, my friend. Always good to see you. And I love the Beatles hat. You're all ready to
Of
go.
course.
Although we're not talking Beatles today, but we're in that era.
We're
So
in that era, kind
we're in
of.
that era. We're actually we're entering into the glam zone here today, people. Uh, from originally this kind of like folky, poppy, psychedelic era of Tyrannosaurus Rex into the birth of glam rock, or one of,
Mhm.
possibly one of the Genesis landing spots or launching pads of what we know as UK glam rock. T.Rex, right? So Mark Bolan, an absolute superstar of the early 70s glam scene. One of the guys, there he is. Who's that? Slash?
Photographed by Ringo Starr.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, Mark Bolan, an iconic figure of this scene, of the British rock scene, and he had the hair, he had the look, pretty damn
Oh.
good guitar player, had a nice voice. Whether you find the music of T.Rex appealing or not, it's not for everybody, but they were a big deal for a number of years, and I think the kind of the spark went out pretty quickly, and then he was taken from us at a very young age. Was he 29 when he died in that?
29, yeah.
Yeah, pretty crazy. But just a little bit of history. So the band originally called Tyrannosaurus Rex, named after the big lumbering dinosaur, right? The king of the jungle, right? Um, they had four albums of basically a duo for the most part, doing kind of quirky, folky, psychedelic pop. I don't know any other way to describe
It
it.
it's kind of when I listen to it, it's kind of like it's like Donovan
I was going to say Donovan.
meets the Incredible String Band meets Sid Barrett,
Yeah.
uh that kind of stuff.
With a little bit of that Beatles pixie dust thrown on top, right? I got to do the pixie dust thing because we
It's very what did I
eclectic.
it's
I don't know.
it's very eclectic, but it's not psychedelic in the sense that you think like strawberry alarm clock, anything
No,
like that. But
it's
it's just
not
like a
U.S. psychedelia at all.
no,
At all.
no. I mean, I mentioned Sid Barrett, I mentioned the Incredible String Band, things like that, but it really is unique unto itself. Now, the one thing I do want to mention before we start this is that I will say this: Mark Bolan is one of the most identifiable artists on vinyl or CD. He has a trademark sound. Whatever era you're going to listen to, you go, that's Mark Bolan. That's T.Rex.
Yeah.
Very identifiable.
Yeah.
Even though I do hear various things coming in, like I could hear Wizard or I can hear Bowie, uh, a lot of Roy Wood, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah. Sure.
still, it's really identifiable. It's simply Mark Bolan.
Yeah. His
So,
voice is very unique.
mhm,
The way him and Tony Visconti recorded that voice throughout the career that they worked together on these albums,
mhm.
very, very unique. The backing vocal is very unique to this band. His guitar style too, very, very much his own.
Very unique tonality
Yes.
too. I mean, it's very distorted. It has to be some type of fuzz box of something, but it's very. I really dig his guitar tone because it's distorted, but it's very clear. And can it be distorted and clean at the same time? It's
Yeah.
just very upfront. The production on these records, Tony Visconti, goodness gracious, Pete,
Yeah.
these records really sound good.
Yeah.
A Slider, not so much. That record sounds more like a Phil Spector album, but the rest of the catalog, I mean, as far as sound quality and the way it was recorded and the instruments, you can pick things out. Things aren't buried, but it's a very unique sound. Very
Yeah,
unique.
would you say that a lot of these albums are perfect for like audiophiles? I would think that this is
Oh,
like headphone stuff. This to me,
it
this
definitely.
again doesn't sound anything like it. But if you're looking for lots of things going on and little, oh, is that what I just heard there? And comparable to maybe what Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention were doing. Completely different style of music, but here in the
100%.
States, if you listen to their old records, you get like this kind of weird like collision of all these unique sounds and things that you would never expect from conventional, rock music or pop music at the time. So
Well, real quick before we dive in, and everybody, you know how this goes. Pete and I go back and forth, blah blah blah. Two geeks, Jesus. Anyway, when you listen to this though, this really never took off in the States. Can you hear anything? Why do you think this never took off here? Do you have any ideas? I don't. Is it too quirky? Is it too
I think
British sounding?
I
What's
think
your
it's
thought?
it's both. I think it's too British sounding and it's too weird, basically.
Kind of weird.
And you have to wonder because we're talking like what 1969 going forward.
60s,
And
I
you
think
have to
67 or early 68 was the first album.
right. Okay. So I'm wondering maybe those first couple of albums are a little bit too acoustic for what was kind of going on here.
Mhm.
I'm wondering, Grant, if like the first couple of action, because we know that Electric Warrior did very well here. That's like really the
Yeah,
only one
wow,
that did.
yeah,
But some of the other albums that came after it, and maybe the one right before it, you have to wonder if those came out in like 67, 68 instead of like the more acoustic Tyrannosaurus Rex stuff, if this band
yeah,
would have really been bigger here, right?
yeah.
Because that to me, I almost think that some of this stuff was a little bit too late when people had kind of already moved past weird music like that. I don't
Mhm.
know. It's hard to say, but I think it's definitely too British for
Yeah.
here.
And the other thing that kind of, I, it's not, like some bands, they come out of the gate on fire. Tyrannosaurus Rex or whatever you want to call it, it's basically it's Mark Bolan.
Yeah,
The albums they don't grow by leaps and bounds. They're very first album, second album very similar. Maybe you look at the second album and third album, maybe it's not as much, but it's a very slow transition to by the time you get the slider and all that stuff. But you can see how it progressed. They were kind of like it's the Sly and the Family Stone thing here again, Pete.
yeah.
Starts out like that, gets better, and then but there is a record though at the end. I think it's not bad. Kind of comes back around.
Yeah, I think so. In the middle, you got, and here's the interesting thing. This band dabbles in disco really before there was disco.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
interesting, right? Very
Yeah,
strange.
you hear it and you going,
It's like, whoa, what year is this again?
yeah.
74? No. So yeah,
So I do want to say before I start though, I had a couple of CDs. Pete asked me to do, I said, of course, because I got everything else and I've been studying and listening. It's just been, oh, I don't have that. Well, that'd be the way to do it. I've been
yeah,
just piecemealing it all together.
yeah.
Because I already had some of it. So, but I never really dived into it. I've dived into it. So how do you want to, how do you want to approach this?
All right, so we got 12. So why don't we do three at a time? I don't have physical copies of any of the Tyrannosaurus Rex
I
albums.
got that.
So you got those. So, but I have all the other ones on
Except I don't know where Unicorn went. Because I was telling Pete before we started to record that I had them all out here, and then I'm looking and I'm going, where are my T.Rex CDs? Well, damn it, I put them all away like an idiot.
yeah.
So, all right. All right. It's three at a time. All
Your
right.
bottom
I'll
three,
try to go
12,
quick
11,
because we
and
have a lot of records.
yeah, we have a lot to get through here, guys. So just get comfortable and bear with us.
Okay.
Enjoy.
I'm trying not to be wordy, but we always have to set this shit up. All right, here we go. Number 12. Now, I don't think this is a bad album. I will go and say that there's really not a bad album here. But number 12, I'm going to go with Boland's Zip Gun. Now, this seems kind of rushed to me. I love the production. You have no Tony Visconti on here at this point. This Mark Boland's producing, but it didn't chart in the UK. It was a commercial failure. Uh, it just kind of sounds kind of cheap and lo-fi to me. It just sounds like almost like it's a bunch of demos. It's like he's coming out of the T.Rex thing. I mean, it's not the original band well, it's hard to tell what the original band is.
Yeah, they're there, but how much they play on, I don't know. And there's like a million other
Yeah.
people. So yeah,
But it kind of has a little bit of punk to it. I mean, this is 1975, but it's kind of not giving a nod towards punk that's coming. It's very eclectic, and I think it's very uneven because most of his albums, I would say, for the most part, I think pretty evenly. I think they're pretty even, but this just seems like it's rushed and not very well put together. Light of Love, funky glam rocker, soulful, Soul Baby, you know, good riff. It's a lot of repetition in the lyrics. It almost feels like he's running out of ideas. Or maybe it's the Coke. I don't know.
Could be.
Something's going on.
Well,
But
let's remember
Precious,
they were pumping out albums pretty quickly, one
yeah,
after
yeah.
another. So yeah, your whole idea of things being rushed, perhaps
Mhm.
there's some merit there.
But I mean, these are probably the best things. Precious Stars, Soulful, because you get on these later records and really he's embracing soul.
Yeah,
He's embracing the funk.
yeah.
And I think he sounds great. Token of Love, there's another funky, it's got a swagger to it, Motown vibe, very Motown.
Yeah.
And that's what he was into. And then you got Space Boss, which is kind of a sci-fi kind of rocker. It's all right. It's very odd, kind of an odd track, but I don't think this is not the best bowling out there. So that's my number 12. My number 11. Okay. I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go with, make sure I got the right thing. God, these albums. Well, actually, I don't think I have that. Number 11 is going to be Prophets, Seers, and Sages, the Angels of the Ages from 1968.
Did he come up with a longer album title? It's like crazy.
Word to God. Let's just keep smoking the hash. All right, chart. This did not chart either in the UK. Now I'm looking more at UK charts because this stuff was a blip here, wasn't it? It didn't even chart over there. Uh, Pete got fair reviews, It was a very underground record. Like Pete and I were saying, incredible string band, mix a little Sid Barrett in, mix a little, I don't know, it's just psychedelic. It's psychedelic folk. That's what it is.
It's pretty
That's
much.
all it is.
Yeah.
Whimsical lyrics, short tracks. It's all right. You can see the progression when you look at this, but I think it's just okay. Um, Stacy Grove, nice little ditty. It sounds like if you listen to Madcap Laughs by Sid Barrett, to me, it sounds like a controlled version. If you got Sid in the studio and you've got him sitting there controlled and not wandering around, it's kind of a controlled version of Sid Barrett. Acoustic guitars ring out, recordings sound fine. It's catchy. Uh, I was doing some research and someone mentioned that this track what is it? Wind Quartets. Oh, my glasses on. Uh, Someone mentioned it sounded like Tom York. Now, Tom York is in the band Radiohead. And I read that and I went, shit, let me listen to that again. And I went, I'll be damned if that track does not sound like a early Radiohead song.
Many, many years before.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, did Radiohead, were they really influenced by T.Rex? Maybe.
Who knows?
Um, but it's more hippie trippy kind of stuff. That's the whole record. I don't find anything on here that is all that memorable that I want to go back and go, oh God, that's just a great track. It's just more like you could put it on the background and listen to it. The thing that does kind of bother me, I can't even pronounce this. Azagel the Mage. What the freaking hell is going on here? This is like the bongos are going crazy.
Oh yeah.
I want to take what's his name and beat him out back. Like, will
Steve
you take your
Peregrine Took.
bongos and go away?
Yeah, I know. It's
Because that song, he needs to calm down. It just takes away from everything.
for those who have never heard the early album specifically, it's basically Bolin and Steve Peregrine Took, and he's just wailing away on the bongos
Like
while Mark is playing acoustic guitar and singing. And at times it's just like it's maddening
it's
because
maddening.
he's just going nuts. And I'm like, dude, calm the fuck down a little bit. It's just crazy.
And this album, more than any of them to me, is just like, I don't know if they're sitting around doing acid and Steve's going, you know what, Mark, we need more bongos.
Yeah. And there are more bongos.
And
Yeah.
there are. So I was so glad to get out of this period because I'm just sitting there going, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, there's that brilliance of marcbolan. He's in there. We just need a little bit more work. And the other thing I do want to mention is that, man, you listen to this. Did you? I'm assuming you're listening to the stereo mix of it. I don't know if there was a mono mix of it, but it is wide stereo, wide. crazy. So anyway, that's my it's okay. I would never return to it. But it's an interesting as an archaeological find. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna go with the debut album. My people were fair and had sky in their hair. Let's bring out the brown acid. But now they're content to wear stars on their brows. 1968. This did this charted. This got to number 15 in the UK. And the critics, believe it or not, kind of welcomed it at the time. Here we didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Still, psychedelic. I really don't have to go into because I just described the other album. Both these albums you could interchange. Psychedelic folk duo with bongos. That's what it is. Let's all go to the clubs in New York in the village and break out the bongos.
Right to the park, right?
I don't even think I really have to really go into it. It's more of the same. Sid Barrett meets Donovan meets the Incredible String Band meets marcbolan. Sums it up.
Yeah, I hear it.
I'd say just let's keep moving because it's
Okay.
really not anything different.
No, no. And to reiterate,
I don't want to be negative, everybody, but it really is kind of like a bunch of psychedelic gobbledygook,
yeah,
kind of.
I'm going to reiterate exactly what Grant just said. I don't get the early Tyrannosaurus Rex albums at all. To me, they're kind of unlistenable. I find lots to like in the catalog once they got electrified, but my number 12 is Prophets, Seers, and Sages, The Angels of the Ages, 1968 second album, which came out like just a couple months after the debut. I mean, they were just pumping stuff out left and
Yeah.
right, but probably because they were just sitting around farting
With
around on cards
bongos.
and bongos. Hey, let's just record this stuff. Right, we'll come up with some lyrics. Again, I don't know. The formula here is exactly like the debut. I
Mhm.
mean, Deborah arobed, weird and trippy, lots of effects on the vocals. Okay, whatever. Salamander, Palaganda, that's kind of catchy and fun.
Yeah.
But man, the rest of this album just doesn't really interest me. And one thing I do want to reiterate across much of the catalog, especially early on, lots of songs, and they're all really short. So it's like
Mhm.
they come in, it's weird, it's quirky, it's different, and then you get the next one, it's weird, it's quirky and different, and you're just kind of like, all right, does any of this work for me? I don't know. My number 11 is Unicorn from 69, the third album.
Okay.
This is the last what Steve Peregrine took. So here they start to add some electric instruments and keyboards and things like that. Mark's playing a little bit of electric guitar. There's some organ and stuff. I hear a little bit of Beatles influence on a couple songs. I think Chariots of Silk is decent. Cat Black, it's got a little charm to it. The vocals are nicely done. Warlord of the Royal Crocodiles goes back to the stuff off the first two albums. It's got acoustic guitar, way too busy bongos. The vocal layers are nice. Iscariot is pretty psychedelic. The rest of it, just doesn't do much for me. So that's my number 11. My number 10 is going to be The People Were Fair and Had Sky in Their Hair, the debut album. Um, yeah, I mean, it's acoustic, psychedelic folk and pop. I guess musically it's fine, right? The guitar work is
Sure.
good.
Yeah.
It's not really my thing though. Hot Rod Mama, that's kind of fun. I think Bolan's acoustic guitar work on Night is quite good. Some of the vocals are good.
Yeah.
Wielder of Words, it's kind of over the top and silly, but whatever. Um, and musically speaking, it's fine, but I find that some of this stuff is just too quirky and weird for me, and the bongos after a while just get me. I'd almost like it's just But I mean, you can tell they're having fun, and I guess some people would be like, oh, but these albums are a blast to listen to. I guess, but like Grant, I will never have another reason to listen to these Tyrannosaurus Rex albums ever again. This just totally not my thing. If you
Mhm.
like this sort of weird psychedelic, British psychedelic stuff, cool. For me, not for me.
Yeah,
So
but you and I both understand this is an important band. And
yeah,
we're just trying to give it to you as we hear it.
yeah, I get
But
that
yeah,
people dig this. I totally do.
yeah.
There's just stuff in this catalog that I just doesn't connect with me at all. Whether it's because it's too British sounding, it's too acoustic, it's too folky, it's too weird. I don't know. I do dig a lot of the later stuff. So I find the beginning of this band's history when they changed the name and got electrified and kind of tightened up what they were doing and made it more of like a band sound, I'm on board. This early duo stuff, acoustic guitar, bongos, weirdness, it's a little too silly for me.
Yeah,
So,
once they added the electric guitar, The album that, the first whatever it was I have in my notes, but when the electric guitar made an appearance, I went, "Thank you."
Okay, thank you. Exactly. Thank you. Now we're talking.
Now we're talking.
Now we can grab this. So
Nothing again bad about acoustic guitars. I have no
no, that's it.
problem with the acoustic guitar, but
Yeah.
the electric was a
Yes.
welcome addition.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Number
That
nine.
was your number nine. Wait a minute. Okay. Wait a minute. Let me scroll. All right, number nine. I'm gonna go with a record that uh I couldn't find I put it away, people. I'm an idiot. Zinc Alloy and the Hidden Riders of Tomorrow. Man, you're very trippy sound and title, that's for sure. Got to number 12 in the UK. It was not released in the United States initially. Yep, that's what I got. I just don't, yeah. Uh,
Kind of scary looking photo of him on the cover there. It's like,
yeah, I
geez.
don't know. That doesn't say, yeah, that's not the marcbolan I want, but whatever. Uh, Kind of has a cult following. When this first came out, people just kind of
Yeah,
kind of
they
got
didn't like it at all. Yeah.
they didn't like it at all. It's very This is how I would describe it. It's very experimental. It kind of blends glam and funk together, like the song Teenage Dream. It's glam funk. How weird.
Yeah.
Um, Venus Moon is another track. It's funky. It is funky. It's got good riffs, swirling strings.
A lot of
Lark,
strings. Yeah.
yeah. And that was the other thing. Now, I mentioned this probably on my higher ranked albums, that you would think the way this band set up, that the strings wouldn't work, and the work that Tony Visconti did, he was absolutely brilliant. The strings on here opens the songs up and it lifts it to another level. Really works out. I like when there's strings on this T.Rex stuff. Go figure. And then and we have to mention Mellotron galore on some of these
Oh
records.
yeah. Yeah.
So if it's got Mellotron on it, it's prog
It's
album.
got to be Prague
Got
now.
to be prog.
It ain't Prague, folks, but it's got lots of Mellotron. So if
So
you
anyway,
just love hearing the Mellotron, there's a couple of these albums. They're all over the place.
so it if you're thinking funk glam, this is your record.
Yeah.
Sound Pit, another soulful track, jazzy undertones. Uh, Explosive Mouth. What the hell is happening here? That's a funk rocker with distorted guitar. It's got a lot of raw energy. It's okay. It's very experimental. I can see why they probably passed on it in the States, but I think it came out in a different configuration though. Um, we didn't look at we didn't cover
Yeah,
that. We're just
there
covering the
was an
UK
album.
albums.
There was an album that was released here in the States that basically took tracks, I think, from this album and another album which wasn't released here and put them together as a compilation. That's what we got here. Which we didn't bother including here because it's basically
It's a
pieces from
comp.
two of the UK records. So yeah, it's
Yeah. But, it's okay. It's not one of my favorites. Let's say that. But I think, we're 1974. We're already on that downward spiral.
yeah.
See? But it's still good. It's still got something to it. Number eight, I'm going to go with Futuristic Dragon from 1976. See, this is when, it only reached 50 in the UK. It was a modest success.
Cool album cover.
Um, yeah,
The
this did
Roger
get
Dean
released.
song. Yeah,
Yeah, it did. It looks like a prog album.
yeah, exactly.
Probably tons of Mellotron on it. Uh, but the reviews, it was kind of lukewarm. But it's what it is, ladies and gentlemen, is rock, soul, and disco.
Yep.
Production's very dense. Uh, the track, it had a single, New York City, reached number 15 in the UK. But you have to admit, rock with soul and disco, it kind of works, but we're in 1976, of course. He must have been a big fan of the disco thing, which is fine. Whether you
I'll
want
watch the
your,
video for that song. It'll tell you all you need to know right there. He's put the guitar down. He's just sitting there on the microphone,
I'll have to watch it.
dressed to the nines. Yeah, he's ready for the disco age, man. I'll tell you, it's
I
crazy.
mean, do you think that might have hurt T-Rex? I mean,
I would 100% say so. Yes. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's fine, but I'm putting it number eight because it's just, yeah, I appreciate what he's doing, but yeah, this is kind of like a transitional thing. the way I look at it. From this album to Dandy in the Underworld, it's just kind of an in-between record. It's fine. I'm not trying to badmouth it. All right. My number seven, correct?
Yep.
Keep me in line. You know I'm going to go off track. I'm going to go with a Beard of Stars, 1970. Here, you have that one? No, that's
Yeah.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah.
Reached 21 in UK. Again, it's kind of like, but this is where the electric guitar comes in. So the first track, Prelude, which is kind of cool. I wrote on my notes, it said, "Look, Ma, I got an electric guitar." So I'm rating this higher because they had enough sense to bring in the electric guitar here. Um, so this is the first album Mickey Finn's on too.
Yeah.
So we had a lineup change, just another guy playing bongos. So it's okay. Blends folk and it just gives a little bit of the electric guitar. And I think it's better because this is a bridge to the electric sound. And
Yeah.
like I said, this band wasn't like a band right out of the gate where they set everything on fire. They had to build up, introduce different things. So Prelude's where the guitar comes in, a day, a day lane, a delicate, it's kind of a pastoral track, little poetic lyric kind of thing. Um, Organ Blues, I made a note of, kind of experimental track. I don't get it. It's not hardly
Really
the
dreary.
blues.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what's going on with that.
I'm
It's
not sure. Probably, I'm not sure what's going on. This track, Wind Cheetah, I wrote on my notes. That's more experimental gobbledygook. But oh, but why is it at number seven? I think the songs are getting better. You've got guitar. The bongos aren't quite as annoying. I think you're getting better production. You're getting a better mix. And I'm starting to go, yeah. I mean, it's that Tyrannosaurus Rex period. I think this is okay. I think this is all right. 1970, we're on the right track.
yeah. Yep.
So, I don't want to, it's fine. It's not too bad. So
Well,
I'll
it's
put it
my
at
number
number
nine.
seven. Okay.
I think it's easily the best of the Tyrannosaurus Rex album
Okay.
for
There
all
you
the
go.
reasons you just stated. I mean, yeah, there's electric guitar here, this and some pretty good guitar work. I'd add on some of this, like Fist Heart Mighty Dawn Dart. It's a weird ass song, but man, he's wailing on the guitar. Um,
Oh, I wrote on my note, since you're bringing it up, it seems like I wrote on this seems very transitional to me. It's like the perfect, it's filling that gap between the old and the new.
yeah.
It still has that madcap laughs feel though. Still reminds me of Sid Barrett.
Oh, there's
So
still some of that stuff. Yeah, there's still plenty of weirdness going on here.
yeah.
Like Pavilion's the Sun. That's a weird song, but it's got, it's acoustic guitar. There's some wah wah electric guitar. You know me, I love wah wah. Yeah, organ blues.
Doesn't.
I don't get that at all.
I don't get that either.
I think By the Light of the Magical Moon, that's a pretty, they released that as a single. That's pretty good. That's more,
That's pretty good.
like, I kind of like that. That's pretty
Mhm.
good. I think the title track has probably his best guitar work on the album. I mean, he's
100%.
just ripping on that. Really like that a lot.
Mhm.
Um, Elemental Child is kind of bluesy hard rock, more guitar. I like that. Lofty Skies got more wah wah guitars. I don't know. There's enough. Probably
I,
half of this album I kind of think is pretty good.
and you know what? When T-Rex stretches out, like that track is 5 minutes. There's everything
That's
else is two
unusual on their
minutes,
demos,
minute and a
right?
half.
Yeah.
But it seems like when they stretch out a bit, those tracks kind of work.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. I'd say
Go figure.
I wrote in my notes, I want more of this from this.
100%. I agree.
Yeah. That's
So I think as far as I'm 100% as far as the Tyrannosaurus Rex, this
that's
is
the best album from the first.
best one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Without question. Yeah. My number eight, I'm going to go with Futuristic Dragon from
Okay.
76. 11th album, seventh as T.Rex, produced by Mark for EMI Records. So this has a lot of the same musicians and singers from the Bolan Zip Gun. We haven't really touched on it yet, but he went through a period where he wanted loads of female backing vocals.
Oh yeah, there's a lot on Zip Gun.
And it's
It's
just like it's
something.
just bizarre, man. You hear them just as much as you hear him. It's crazy, but
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. I didn't bring it up when I was looking at the record, but I think it takes away the female backing vocals is so it just takes over that it takes away the spotlight from him.
Him. Yeah,
See, I
exactly.
don't like that. It was just too much. It's
It's too
kind of
much.
like too many bongos, too many
Too
female
much female.
vocals.
Yeah. It's okay in spots. I don't mind it. But it's just every album
It's
for a
just
couple.
like,
It's just like boom. I love Chrome Sitar. I think that's an amazing track. It's catchy. The chorus is just money. Really good.
yeah.
Jupiter Liar's okay. All Alone to me sounds like Boz Scaggs. It's kind of weird.
Yeah,
It totally does. You
it
mentioned New
does.
York City.
Hmm.
I mean, it's kind of an okay song, but it's just,
Boogie.
yeah, yeah, it's a little overboard with the strings on some of the stuff here. I think the strings work in spots on some of the other albums. I think here it's a little bit, little My Little Baby is okay. Calling All Destroyers, I like that. But again, it's bordering on overproduced. Like I think this album
Hmm.
is just. I like the Tony Visconti albums better from a production standpoint than I like what
Hmm.
Mark was producing himself because I think he just overdoes it on here. Uh,
100%.
Ride My Wheels is disco. Sensation Boulevard is funk. Dreamy Lady is terrible. And if you go watch the video, it's even worse. He's just up there hamming it up in front of the camera, no guitar in sight, just like looking like he wants to be Johnny Mathis or something. It's just absolute terrible. I like Casual Agent though, the closing track. I think that's pretty groovy. It's kind of disco pop. I don't know. I think this album has its moments, but it's missing guitar for one thing, and it doesn't rock at all, other than a couple spots. But it's whatever. There's some decent stuff on here. And my number seven, I'm gonna go with Dandy in the Underworld, the last album. Right? Yeah, the last album. He would die shortly after this. Um, again, he produces. It's mostly the Mark Bolan show again at this point in time. A lot of people playing on here. I think Crimson Moon is really bubbly and loads of fun. Reminds me of some of the classic material. Uh, I'm a Fool for You, Girl. Good groovy pop. I like it. Universe is excellent. Um, I Love to Boogie. I don't like that at all. Visions of Dominoes, pretty good, which is weird because the song is kind of rocking, but then the strings come in. It's kind of like, is it boogie rock? Is it disco? Is it a little bit of both? I don't know. Groove a Little is kind of bland. Soul of My Suit is pretty catchy. Hang Ups is pretty cool. Pain in Love, it's got a great guitar lick on it. It's kind of dark, but then it's got those disco soul elements, really good guitar solo, cool song. Teen Riot Structure. That sounds like classic T.Rex glam.
Yeah.
Good. I think this is a really
Well,
good
this
album.
record's more return to form.
Yeah, there's some elements from the albums that came right before it, but also there's stuff that goes back to the classic era. So I think it's
The
pretty good. That's my number seven. I probably could have ranked it higher, but I think it's really
I
good.
ranked it higher.
Don't
It's
sleep on
got
this one.
better production on
Yeah.
here. It's like, it seems like Mark kind of was going through his experimental phase, trying to do different things, and he just went, oh, let's go back and do
Let's
what
go
we
back
do
to the
best.
old stuff. Yeah, it's quite good. I would definitely check this one out, folks.
Yeah,
It's
I
definitely
can
good.
recommend that one.
Yeah.
And
All right.
you know how we do that. I went and redid my whole ranking right before. I've been ranking these and going back and forth and rethinking it. It's just this has been the hardest one we've ever done
Yeah, it's
for
tough because
me.
some of these are like they're so similar. It's yeah.
I don't know. It's so similar. Where to what? It's not like an artist that just you know would have an album all of a sudden that's so incredible. You knew where it came from. It was
Right.
such a slow progression.
Right.
All right, so I'm at number five. Is that where I'm at?
Six.
Six. All right. All right, number six. I like this record quite a bit because T.Rex is here, and I really like this. I like the production. This reached number seven. It was this is we're electric now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going with T-Rex from 1970. Melody Maker liked it. Most of the reviews at the time liked it. I love the
Les Paul on the
production.
cover. It's electric, baby. It's electric.
Yeah, let's bring out that 50s Les Paul, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. I don't yeah, I like it. It's still transitional. They're not fully formed into, this.
Yeah, not at all.
Uh but it's fine. You have a good balance of electric and acoustic. I'm fine with that. Like I said, it's everything's a slow transition with this band. Um, but Tony Visconti on here, I think it's one of his really. I love the way this sounds. Um, but let's see. Let's just look at a couple of tracks. The Children of Yarm. God, whatever. I can't read. Children
Children of
of Yarn.
Rarn, Rarn, however you
Rarn.
say it is Rarn.
Hell.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
like one of those little intros that they do. So nice string intro. It sets the tone for the record. This is where we're starting to use some strings, and it works so well. Jewel, I wrote on my notes, I said, this is T.Rex right here. This sets the stage. Jewel, if you like T.Rex slider and all that, this is what that reminds me of. The Visit kind of reminds me of a Donovan track. I'm not saying that's good or bad, but it's very Donovan. And I like Donovan. I have no problem with Donovan, but it just reminds me of that. Um, oh, uh, Childy, how do I pronounce? I don't even know how to pronounce it. Childy, like the fourth track, nice crunchy guitars. This song, I absolutely love it. I wrote on my notes, I said, this could be released today. It sounds very fresh. It sounds very new, but he's playing dissonant chords at times, like sliding into them. And I'm going, my God, the guitars on here sound great.
Yeah.
And playing that dissonance, it just takes the track and turns it on its head, and it works. I dig that. See, coming around.
Coming
Thank you.
around.
I'm coming around.
Yeah.
Diamond Meadows, love the strings. The track is infectious. I really could have probably ranked this even higher, but whatever. I'm switching things around. Let us know down there if you
It's
know
in the
this
upper
record. I
echelon.
want to
That's the
know. It's up
important
in the upper echelon. All right.
thing.
Root of Star, another great track. Wah
Yeah.
guitar, Pete. But I wrote on my notes the songs are getting better and more memorable. So we're on an upward swing. So that's number 6. I could go on, but you'll be talking about it. Number 5, I did put. Now I'm going. Why did I put this here? I put Unicorn on here from '69 on here, and I don't know why I did because I keep switching things around. I think I might have this lower, but whatever. It's number 5 now. This drove me crazy. All right, reached number 12 in the UK. Most successful Tyrannosaurus Rex albums, but it's still, it's psychedelic folk. I think I kind of screwed up. I don't think I meant that number
That was probably supposed to be lower, right?
Yeah, I'm going, Grant, what are you doing? Must be all that brown acid. Um, it's kind of a cult classic. It's more of that hippie trippy stuff, and I don't think I wanted it number 5, but it's at number 5.
Okay.
Um, I'm still agree with you that I do believe, um, what did we say? Beer to Stars. Didn't we say that was the best one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I would probably, if I'm redoing this again, Grant, you idiot,
Switch those
I'd
two.
probably put I probably might switch those. I think that's what I meant to do. Oh well, it's fine. If anybody saw me working on this, they would just go, "Oh my God, it's just been like you wouldn't believe."
Grant's gonna be like, the next one we do, Pete's got to be less than 5 albums.
I it's just it was if the albums were more, whatever.
Yeah. Well,
But anyway,
there's a
it's more
lot of
hippie trippy
songs.
stuff.
Yeah, and
Huh?
each album's got a lot of songs, right?
Right.
So there's a lot of material to get through here. That's yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So do I do what was that? 5, 4?
Yeah. So you got number 4. Yeah.
Number 4, Dandy in the Underworld. I put that at number 4.
Yep. There you go.
I dig this. This did well in I reached up to number 26. He's not setting the world on fire like the old days. Um, the song I Love to Boogie got to number 13. At the time, it got general positive reviews. Like we kind of said, it's Mark is returning to his roots, you know. It's got good production, it's upbeat, and yet it's introspective on some tracks, but it's like a welcome return instead of having all this other, you know, disco thing. I mean, there's still touches of that. Um, Crimson Moon is very cosmic and atmospheric. Talk about Donovan. He seems to be into this whole fantasy thing, and it kind of aligns with that. I love the boogie. It's a hit single. It's an upbeat boogie rock track. That's what it is. Jason B. Sad, a centerpiece, praised. A lot of the critics praised this. So it's very introspective. I find it also introspective. I think this album's quite good. Groove a little's neo funk. Um, it's very diverse, but then it's a welcome return. The production's back to where we want it. And like you've talked about, his production stylings are he's no Tony Visconti.
No. you know.
And but I think that this was I think he was back to this is really good record. I'm comfortable putting it number four because he was able to come back and you're sitting here and going, nah, wow, this is what I want for my T-Rex.
Yeah.
And I
And,
have no
and then
issues
he
with
was
this
gone.
record at all.
And then he was gone.
And then he was gone. So it'd be interesting to see what how things would have progressed had he lived. But and we have what we have right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
And what's interesting too, we haven't really talked about it. It's like if you go and you look up information on a lot of these albums and you look at like various CD reissues of them, they released a ton of like singles and non-album
Hmm.
tracks. So like you can buy versions of some of these albums that have like 25 songs on them because they're just pulling shit from all over the place.
Now that box set that you have, are those just straight reissues or those have bonus tracks? I mean,
Yeah,
what
no,
is
these are just basically straight reissues. Yeah, just there's no bonus.
because here's what this I've got this, and I mean it's like a two CD set with
Yeah,
all bonus stuff
right.
and
That's yeah, you
came out
buy
on
those.
Rhino.
Yep.
Uh yeah, the reissue campaign for the band, wonderful if you
Yeah.
go down that road.
Yeah, if you want all that extra stuff,
You
yeah, for
want all
sure.
that extra stuff.
All right,
So
my number
all right.
six is Bolan Zip Gun, 10th album. Six is T.Rex. Again, most of the classic lineup plus lots of other guests. Light of Love, pretty catchy. Again, you gotta love Gloria Jones, right? Because Gloria Jones is like she's like the female singer's secret weapon in this band that he like
Mhm.
kind of overused a little bit. But I like her in spots. I agree with you. I don't want her dominating every song, like because I want to hear him. But I like when she kind of pops in and does a little thing here. But he was using her quite a bit.
A lot.
Solid Baby's pretty memorable. It's groovy. Precious Star. I don't really like that too much. It's kind of like barroom boogie meets gospel. It's like, yeah, yep,
He looks pretty cool there. Well, it looks like he just landed from another planet,
I know,
but
right?
hey man, it was the 70s.
Yeah, that is cool. He's there with Bogart, and yeah, that's pretty cool. What else? Token My Love is decent. I really like Space Boss a lot. I love the crunchy guitar. It's got a catchy
Yep.
chorus. I like the sax. That's pretty cool. Think Zinc is fun. Till Dawn, Girl in the Thunderbolt suit. That's pretty fun. I really love you, babe. Decent. Good guitar on that. Golden Belt is really good. Memorable song. Zip Gun Boogie, hard rocker. Good chorus, killer riff. I like this album. Pretty good. That's my number six. My number five, I'm gonna go with the T.Rex album that you just mentioned.
Yep.
Fifth album, first as T.Rex. Mark Bolan and Mickey Finn. Acoustic pop, psychedelic, electric stuff, a little mix of everything. I think Jewel is really cool. That kind of reminds me of where they would go start with the next album. Child is a good track. I think that he's really developing that kind of like vocal style we really like from him. He's got that kind of that
Mhm.
charmingness to him, whatever you call it. I don't know. It's good electric guitar on here. Diamond Meadows. It's got the strings. All of a sudden, Tony's like, "Hey, we could throw some strings in
But
here."
it works so well.
Works really good. Kind of sounds like The Move meets the Beatles a little bit.
Yes.
So it's really
Yes.
cool. Uh, I like
Yes.
Root a Star. Root a
Hmm.
Star. I think it's
Wah
got
guitar.
yeah, wah-wah
Yeah.
guitars. It's got the bongos, but it's got chimes and the vocal harmony is really cool. Soaring, Beltane Walk, more heavy guitars, great vocal harmony, strings. The Wizard. The Wizard is bizarre. It like doesn't even fit here. It's like this rambling 8 minute psychedelic whatever you call it, with like all this percussion and fuzzy guitars and weird vocal layers.
It's
It's like
weird.
it's really weird, right? It's kind of like their version of like what would become Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. It's like, well, we can do something long form like that, but
Sure.
I think there's some stuff that is really great on this album. There's some stuff that doesn't quite work for me, but I think it's a good, like you mentioned, transition album into what
Hmm.
was coming move from one thing to the other. So I think there's lots to like there. And then my number four, I'm gonna go with oddly enough, I was like surprised I have this so high. Zinc Alloys and Hidden Riders of
Oh,
Tomorrow.
okay.
Um, yeah, this is like a totally different album to most of these. This is like funk and soul all over the place,
Hmm.
but I kind of like it.
All
It's
right.
weird. Venus Loon is fun. It's funky. The guitars, the strings, the female backing vocals from the Cosmic Choir, I like it. Sound Pit is upbeat. Explosive Mouth is pretty groovy. Um, Galaxy is going a little overboard on this whole kind of psychedelic kind of funk thing here, but whatever, it's okay. Nameless Wildness, quirky and fun, lots of wah-wah guitars. Teenage Dreams, really theatrical sounding. It's like that's times this album, it seems like it's going overboard. Lots of strings though. Liquid Gang, fun. Castle Smith in the old one, another kind of sweeping pop glam, strings all over the place, whatever. Painless Persuasion versus the Meat Hawk Immaculate, whatever. It's pretty well crafted. I don't know. There's kind of like an artsiness to this album, which I kind of dig.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. The Avengers is funky and fun. I don't like the Leopards much. That doesn't do much for me. But it's just interesting how like most fans hated this album when it came out because it was so different. But I find it oddly appealing. So
That's
that's my
awesome.
number four, and we get to the top three. I think we have the same top three. Yes, we do. So we'll
We
see what
might.
come in here.
Well, we could do it together if
The
it's
cream
the.
rises to the top always.
Well, there is one I think that does stand out amongst them.
Yeah, I do as well.
Um, all right, all right, here we go. I'm gonna go with 1973 album Tanks. I hope I'm Tank or whatever you want to
Tank.
pronounce it.
I don't know. I always
Tank.
call it tanks. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it
Tanks.
is just tank. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Tank or
You know
tank?
that
Take your pick.
I've never looked at a band where the song titles or the titles of the records just baffle me. Uh, just drives me crazy. But there he is right there playing. Um, I think that I mean, this got mixed reviews back in the day. Uh, the thing is, it didn't have any hit singles,
No, but it's pretty damn good.
but it's a damn good record. Um, this again, we've got that blend of glam, soul, and funk. And I think it really works well. You've got Mellotron on here,
Mellotron everywhere on this.
saxophone, but it's just weird. I guess they're using the melon because we were having real strings before, but now we're embracing the Mellotron.
We don't have to pay
And it,
people. We'll just bring one of these things in and just, let it do
I
its thing.
mean, I'm good. I like Mellotron.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Yeah.
I'm good. Tenement Lady when it opens the album, Mellotron. It's riff driven. It's glam. It's it's the same glam rock that you're expecting to hear on Electric Warrior or The Slider. Rapids, the next track, soul and funk. It is soul and funk. It works though. I'm just it's really good. I'll
Yeah.
give it that.
And that
Mr.
chorus is
Mister,
great.
yeah,
Rapids has a great chorus.
great chorus, catchy. God darn. But you still have some acoustic ballad, like Broken Hearted Blues. You got an acoustic ballad. Now, there's a lot of different styles on this record, but normally you would look at this on paper and go, well, that's not going to work. It works.
Yeah.
This record, it does work. Shock rock, a short glam rocker, aggressive sounding, raw energy. It just seems like they're very dialed in on this record, very inspired when I listen to it. Electric Slim and the Factory Hand. God, these titles, very soulful, very funky. It's a standout. It's a soul standout on this record, as far as I'm concerned. A lot of great riffs. I like the guitar sounds. And then Left Hand Luke, 6 minute epic that closes the record. Gospel inspired backing vocals, you know, but he takes these last tracks or these tracks that end the album and just goes for it. I love what he does with that stuff. I think that this is another one. Mad Donna, I want to mention that. This is classic T.Rex Mad Donna. It's swaggers, it's got that riff driven glam rock feel, and it could fit in. It could fit in on those other two records that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
But Born to Boogie's all right. I think it's good. I think it's good. I think this is one of the best records.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree.
So anyway, that's my number three. My number two, this record's very influential. Evidently Johnny Marr from the Smiths really like it. Gary Newman's mentioned this. Um, this reached number 4 in the UK. Telegram Sam was a hit, which is a great track. Metal Guru, which opens it, was a single. This did really well. A lot of people think that this is the peak, but I'm going to go with the Slider from 1972. It's the only reason I'm bringing this down is because the production of it. It's kind of murky. It sounds like Phil Spector. It doesn't, it's not, there's not a lot of space between things. But Metal Guru seems like a mix of Roy Wood and the Beach Boys. I swear to God, that's what I hear. And just put a little bit of Slade on top.
Oh yeah, yeah, I would agree with
So
that.
I hear a lot of Slade on this. Now, of course, Slade was out. I'm sure everybody was influencing everybody else. Mystic Lady, you've got more acoustic guitars. Good track. Rock on. Crunchy, crunchy, crunchy. The guitars on here, I love the crunch. And it kind of reminds me of Wizard. Backgrounds take a predominant role here because you're on this record, they're really starting to utilize these background vocals. But it kind of reminds me of Wizard. It's very Roy Wood like. The slider I wrote on here, you could tune that, you could take that track, Pete, and turn that into a doom metal track. The slider. But I listened to this, I think it's very Bowie like. And I said, this sounds like a single to me, though a lot of the stuff that I hear from T.Rex, I'm going, how on earth could this be a single? But whatever. Um, Baby Boomerang, the backgrounds kind of drive me crazy though. But it's a rock and roll track. See, this is where the backgrounds is kind of calm down, maybe the backgrounds a little bit. Spaceball Ricochet sounds like Mott the Hoople to me. Nice ballad, but I keep thinking Ian Hunter. I don't know why. It just whatever happens. Telegram Sam's great. But I think that's basically a remake of Bang a Gong when I hear it. It just sounds like it's got the
There are a
same
couple of
riff.
tracks in this catalog that are a remake of Bang Gong. Yes,
It
exactly.
is. It's got a different chord progression, but it's still got that. It's this. It's yeah. It's like Bang a Gong. Um, Baby Strange. It's very stripped down. I do. I do appreciate the stripped down production on this because it kind of is reminiscent of the record that Electric Warrior, which is much more in your face. So I like that, and the string flourishes on there I think are great. Um, I like it. The only track that I didn't really get, the last track on this one, Main Man, I kind of picked, it sounded like filler to me. It's 4 minutes, but for the ending of the album, I didn't think it ended on a solid track. I don't know. I just sounds like filler to me. So
Yeah,
there
it's
you go.
kind of
That's why I'm
acoustic.
knocking it down to two. The
Yeah,
production and not everything is hitting it out of the park. But I could be wrong. A lot of people put this at number one. I don't know. My number one, of course, is Electric Warrior. Reached number. This was the commercial peak, and there's a good reason why. Everybody raved about this. Look at one of the best all-time album covers
oh, it's amazing,
on
right?
the planet.
Does he
It
look like a
looks so
guitar
heavy,
god
but
there
it's
or what?
not.
Look at that.
I
Look
mean, if that's not rock, if that's not, gee, many Christmas, but it's not that heavy.
no,
It's a false advertising on
it
that
totally
cover.
is. It totally is. Yeah.
So this has got Bang a Gong Get It On, which is a classic. It's also got Jeepster on it, which is
Yep.
kind of blends pop and rock. Another Tony Visconti production, top notch work from Tony Visconti on this.
Yep.
It's also been in a lot of lists of some of the best albums, one of the 1001 albums you need to hear before you die, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Yep.
Mambo's Son opens the track, which is just dandy cosmic dancer strings. The strings really work well. It's very catchy songwriting. Jeepster, I'm not sure what a Jeepster is for your love.
Um,
I don't know.
does
Some
anybody know?
car. Now, I don't know what being a Jeepster for your love is. I don't have
No.
no idea.
But it's a
But it's
beloved song.
catchy.
Yeah.
Sounds like a single.
Yep.
Now, one thing I forgot to mention is that Flo and Eddie sing on a are doing backgrounds on here.
Yes.
I think they make another appearance on another record
They're on
too.
2 or 3 albums that
Mhm.
singing backing vocals. Yeah.
And is that what I hear on the backgrounds? Is that Flo and Eddie?
Probably. Yeah.
I mean, I'm good. I'm good with that. Um,
Who doesn't
but
love Kurt?
Jeepster, but I mean on Monolith, that's where I really hear Flo and Eddie. Um, it's almost like an R&B number. It's good, but the backgrounds add so much. When Flo and Eddie are supplying background vocals, I think it really works. And the backgrounds on this particular song really add a lot to it. And what's interesting is that they become louder and louder as the track goes on, but I kind of dig it. I like it. Lean Woman Blues. This is blues like only Mark Bolan could do. It's like taking the blues and turning it on its head,
Yep.
but it's blues. Bang a Gone. Of course, this is the standout track. It's a classic. Come on, it is, and it does stand above everything else. I think. Um, this is funny. Planet Queen. I wrote on my notes because when I'm listening to it, just something that popped into my head. I went, my God, why does this remind me of the Plastic Ono Band? The first John Lennon solo album. It reminds me of Plastic Ono Band and all those slap back drums. I don't know if I'm such a big fan of that. There's a lot of this on here. And it also reminds me of In Excess, the song Mediate. It's on, it reminds me of In Excess. So I'm thinking they had to have listened to this track because it
Would have been.
really,
Yeah, yeah.
it wasn't, this record was very influential to a lot of artists. So
Yeah.
I'm sure, but I can pick things out of it, you know? And I'm sure Mark was probably listening to obviously, but it sounds very Plastic Ono Band. Girl's great. I could keep going. Rip It Off that ends the track really reminds me of Bowie. And I think it's probably Tony Visconti's production that does that since he was working with Bowie too. Uh, but this song really does remind me of Bowie, whether that's good or bad, whatever.
Yeah,
But I
like a little
think this is
hunky
a pretty much
dory
a,
Ziggy type of thing, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could keep going, but I think this is pretty much a perfect record. This is the peak for me, you know. I think that the material on Slider is damn near as good, but I think that production just it's just not this is perfect. I love the way this record sounds, you know. Give me more of this. So that's my number one.
All right.
Probably a lot of people's number one, but it's obvious.
Yeah, I would assume so. May or may not be mine. We'll see.
Well, we'll see.
My number three is also Tanks or Tank or however you like to say it. I like this a lot.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Yeah.
Love the back cover too. It's pretty cool. You mentioned Tenement Lady. That totally rocks. I mean, that to me, that sounds like a continuation of what we heard on Slider. Uh,
Hmm.
just good gritty guitars. You got piano, lots of mellotron. Rapids. We mentioned my rapids. Just great. Love that
Hmm.
a lot. Great chorus. Blistering guitar work. Mister is kind of like psychedelic soul. It's got more mellotron, piano, sax, more sax and mellotron on Broken Hearted Blues. I think shock rock is nice and heavy. I wish it was
Hmm.
longer. It's so brief. And Country Honey is another cranking tune. I love
Yeah.
this big country crunchy riffing on this album. I think the guitar tones on this album are really, really great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of great stuff on here. Born to Boogie, yeah, it's kind of like boogie rock, you know. Life is Strange is kind of dreamy acoustic. Highway Knees is really good. And then, yeah, you mentioned that whole left-handed Luke and the
Left
Pet
hand Luke.
Boys. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
kind of bluesy gospel type of thing. Of course, dogs are going ballistic in the background here. Excuse me, everybody.
Well, they
That's
like
my
left hand Luke, obviously.
Yeah, I guess so. My wife is dog trained, and she probably has her clients in the backyard, and now the dogs are going crazy over here. My number two is Electric Warrior.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is most people's favorite. This is supposedly the classic T.Rex album, and I think it probably is because it has those hit singles. I think for me though, it's not quite the drop dead classic that everybody says it is. It's pretty close. Um, every
I
time I try
can't
to
hear
talk,
him.
huh?
I can't hear him.
You don't hear him, it's going to show up on it'll be on the recording though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean this Mambo Sun is great. Jeepster is classic. I like Cosmic Dancer a lot. I think Monolith is great.
Mm.
Got some good wallow guitars in there. Lean Woman Blues is kind of their version of a bluesy shuffle. Get It On, Bang a Gong, classic, right? Yeah, I mean, you
Classic.
know,
Yeah.
Motivator is good. It's a really strong album, great album cover. Yeah, I agree with you. The production is fantastic.
Fantastic.
I just think I like some of the tracks a little bit more on this.
Okay.
For me, the Slider is it's a it's a little grittier of an album from a production
Hmm.
standpoint. It's a little bit meatier. It's a little more of a rock album, I think. I love Metal Guru. I mean, I think that's a totally cool song. It might be one of my favorite songs in the catalog. It's psychedelic hard rock. I mean, the vocals are trippy. There's strings. I mean, it's just great. Mystic Lady is good. That's kind of like psychedelic pop. I like that a lot. Rock On is kind of
Crunchy.
hard rock. I like that big riffs, great screaming guitar solo. Love it. I love the title track. It's groovy. It's
Yeah.
kind of got this throbbing bass. It's pretty heavy. It's glammy. Baby Boomerang, fun, catchy. Spaceball Ricochet is awesome. How about Buick McCain? That
Heaviest thing on the record.
rocks. That is so heavy.
Heavy.
The chorus is great. The drumming is awesome. The guitar riff is great. That's another one of my favorite songs in the catalog. You mentioned Telegram Sam. That's just a remake of Get It On Bang God,
Pretty
whatever.
much. But hey, it's catchy.
It is
I can
catchy, of
see while
course.
they're
Yeah,
trying that formula again. I get it.
yeah, yeah. Baby Strange is really good. I think Ballroom of Mars that could have been on Ziggy Stardust.
But you know
No,
what? It's kind of a heavy ballad.
yeah, it
You know
is.
what? Ziggy Stardust. I didn't put that on there, but you are 100% right.
It could have been on that album. Nobody would have blinked, right? It would
Well,
fit
I
right.
wouldn't have blinked.
The
No.
mood is just perfect for that album. Um,
But
I love Harry.
it's a heavy ballad, which
It
is weird.
is. It is. Yeah,
It's
it's
heavy, but
groovy and yeah, yeah. I like it. I think it's
yeah,
really
I
good.
get
I
it.
love Chariot Chugal. That's another groovy rocker. Yeah, Main Man is kind of like a letdown at the end of the album, but I just really like this album a lot. I think
That's cool.
the to me, if you get nothing else in this catalog, you got to get these three. To me, and
100%.
our top three. Right?
100%.
There's good
Top
stuff
three.
on some of the other albums, but for me, you have to have these three.
100%.
It kind of
100%.
yeah. So. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's an interesting catalog. It's like this is not a band that I would normally listen to like every day of the week. I'm glad we did this, and I've enjoyed. Granted, there's some of these albums that I don't enjoy much, but I think that there's enough good stuff here. I really like him as an artist, as a guitar player. I just sometimes wish some of these albums were not as weird and like there wasn't so many tracks because there's a lot of throwaway stuff in this catalog, but when they're on, when he's on, it's
It
really
it's really good.
yeah.
And that we were talking before, here they never really took off here. I mean, other than Electric Warrior, which was a hit, but everything else was just a blip. Um, I don't, I always wondered. And now I'm going to say this, and people are going, "Oh, Grant." I always was under the impression because, like I said, I had some of these CDs. I just bought them. I stuck them in the thing. I went, well, maybe I'll get to it. You know how it is. Everybody here, you buy something and you go, well, I'll get to that and I'll listen to it. So until we did this series, I really didn't jump into it. My initial impression was just based on the footage I had seen of him, is that he was just some kind of pretty boy that everybody liked his style, everybody liked his swagger, everybody liked his flamboyant clothing. That could this be could this be like a real serious artist? That was my impression. And but once you go through this catalog, there's really some great stuff here. And like you said, there's some stuff that's not so great. But I think if you start with those three albums, you can't go wrong. And then after that, if you really dig those,
Yeah,
branch off from there,
yeah.
But there's a lot more to him than just that look.
Oh,
I
for
mean, he,
sure.
like I said in the beginning, he has a unique sound. No one else sounds like him. Like I said, I can hear other things in there. I've heard the Beach Boys, I've heard Wizard, I've heard Roy Wood, but was a very unique and very creative, you have to admit. Whether it hits or doesn't hit, there's a lot of creative aspects to this. So,
And I think he loved being a star. He really did.
oh,
He really did.
but he
You asked
was
before
perfect.
if any of these albums had the bonus tracks on there. I totally forgot that they included two CDs at the end, which
Oh,
have all that single stuff. So you got like Blackjack, Do You Want to Dance, Dock of the Bay, London Boys, Laser Love,
yeah.
Life's an Elevator, To Know You Is to Love You. I mean, some of it's crap, but
But you know what?
Cadillac, Thunderwing. I mean, it's a lot of
You
shit.
mentioned this before, how they were cranking out albums so fast.
Yeah,
It was such a short period of time, Pete, but the amount of material
it's
that
crazy what you're
T.Rex
talking about.
generated, I really had no idea until we dived into it.
Yeah. So what did we say that last album was? That was what, 1970? What was Danny Underground was what year? 77.
1977,
So you're thinking so the very first Tyrannosaurus Rex album was what, early 68?
68. Mhm. Well, I guess 10-year run.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there was a lot of music generated. A
Yeah.
lot.
A lot. right?
A
So you
lot.
have a dozen albums plus all the singles. That's pretty hefty. Not a lot of other bands did that kind of output, over such a short period of time. So yeah, well,
But
whatever.
it was quite a process. This took a lot of,
Yeah.
this was, this darn near
We
killed
agreed
me.
to do this like
Pete.
months ago. I mean, we only just like kind of put a date on the calendar like 3 weeks ago. So we've done a lot of cramming since then. But I've been listening to a lot of this over the last
Yeah.
months, and
But
yeah,
like I said, I was changing my rankings and
yeah,
ugh,
for sure.
I'm trying to let you know how I feel. But man, I did screw that up because that one shouldn't, Unicorn shouldn't have been
Yeah,
at
Unicorn
five.
should have been down below. Yeah,
Unicorn should be switched with a Beard of Stars. So, but it's still, and T.Rex should have been moved up. So that's fine.
that makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
It's
So
frantic.
there you have it, everybody. Ranking the albums of T-Rex and Tyrannosaurus Rex. So if you are a fan of this band and you know these albums well, rank them as you like them. Down in the comments below, give us any of your feedback and impressions on these albums from the legends of the UK glam rock scene, T-Rex, and we'll see you next time here on Ranking the Albums. Grant, what's going on over at the Contrarians in the
Uh,
Warehouse? You got some cool stuff coming up?
oh, well, there's all kinds of stuff coming out. I'll be doing a listening party on Sunday. I'm still trying to decide what I'm going to do, but I will be having guests back on for Sunday starting in July. But I'm just kind of getting things geared up. Rand and I did a show on Camel where we looked at the last what 4 or 5 Camel albums. That's coming up. I haven't got it edited yet, but Rand's on. You bring Rand and talk about Camel. Good Lord Almighty, he loves
Rand's
Camel.
a fan, yeah.
He gets all worked up in the only way Rand can. So that's coming up. Probably, I think we'll be doing another live show on the Contrarians. There's always something coming out. Like Martin's probably said, he's just busy, busy, busy making stuff. So I'm going to be doing some editing for Martin today.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
So
And you
it's
and I
all
are
good.
doing a listening party, a jazz listening party in
We're going to
about
do classic jazz, correct?
mid July, right?
Yeah.
So
So Pete will be on there. So get ready, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah, I gotta start putting together some songs that there's just so much to choose from. It's like,
Oh, yeah. And real quick before I know we went long, but we did a live show on my channel and we streamed it on Pete's channel looking at rock candy releases. We're going to do another show, but we got a lot of good response from rock candy from that show. And they just thought we're doing God's work pretty much. But it's such a good label. We have nothing to do with it, but we're just trying to get it out there. Go and check that out. Pete's got it up on his channel. I got it on my channel, but go check it out. And we got a lot of nice words from Rock Candy just to let everyone know.
and I gave them another nice big fat order yesterday.
Well, they know who you
My
are.
biggest one yet. I was like, oh boy,
God
I need
darn.
help.
You need help. And we'll show this. I did get this yesterday and
Yeah, I got it.
today.
Right.
I haven't got the other one yet, but I've got this one. Well, it's kind of hard. Some people have it in stock. Have you played those yet?
No, not yet. I'm still I
I'm just
played.
curious how they sound.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope to listen to them tomorrow. I've listened to a few of the Frank Marinos and I've listened
Oh,
to Joe Lynn Turner a few times, which is great.
see, the Joe Lynn Turner one, I've got that, but it's the Wounded Bird, which is
Oh, you got the
fine.
older issue, yeah.
Were there any bonus tracks on that version, or is it straight?
No, it's straight 10
Okay.
tracks. Yeah, there's not on the ones that I got here, there's not a lot of bonus tracks. The only one that's got some bonus tracks is the Frank Marino Mahogany Rush Live. They got
Oh,
2 tracks from the California Jam concert on here,
oh,
which is
cool.
really cool. Yeah, it's great. But these sound great. These Frank Marinos.
See, I haven't got, well, you know how it works, ladies and gentlemen. If you've been watching these shows, you know how it works. I haven't got to that point yet,
Yeah,
but
he probably will soon.
it's terrible. The sickness is so bad here. It's just
Oh,
terrible.
yeah, that's
So,
no good. It's no.
anyway, there's a lot that we're going to be doing. There's a lot coming up. So brace yourselves, get a seat, get your popcorn.
There you go.
So,
There you go. As for what's coming up on ranking the albums next week, I do not know. I will have to look at my spreadsheet and see what's coming up. It may not even be anything on the calendar yet, but I have a list of like a million things. I may, if I don't have any specific ones that I'm doing with someone else, it may be one of those weeks where I do like a short two or three album catalogs. So I might just do
You
that.
probably ought to do that after we just went through.
I know I'm kind of exhausted. The last couple of weeks have been crazy. I've been doing some big
Exhausted.
catalogs. It's like, so I probably need to do like Balance or something like that, right? Two albums. I'm like,
Mhm.
something easy because I'm sitting here staring at like Virgin Steel and Hellstar and Obsession
Do
and
balance, because who's talking balance?
nobody's talking Balance. It's only two albums, right? So that's pretty easy. I got Wasp sitting over here. I'm like, although we did talk about doing Simon and Garfunkel at some point, and that's only what, four or five albums, so that's probably
Yeah,
doable.
that'd be good. We could do that next. I don't,
Yeah.
whenever.
So, all right,
That
maybe
wouldn't be hard to prep for.
no, no. So anyways, I will announce it over the next day or two, what's going to be ranking the albums for Sunday, so you guys know. And for people like Gary Joyce who wants to get prepared listening, you'll know in at least I'll give you at least 4 or 5 days notice on that. So anyway, thanks for
There
watching,
you go.
everybody. Visit us
Cool.
on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as a post. And please do hit the like button before you leave. For Grant, Arthur, I am P. Pardo. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. It's all T-Rex today. Rank them as you like them down below. And we'll see you next week here on Ranking the Albums. Take care. Bye-bye.